What's going on, chat? I'm Teddy. I am a UK uni film student and I am approaching my second year of film school. As a student, we often get overwhelmed with the lack of time we have. We have some deadlines, we have a part-time job, we want to go out, and it can be overwhelming, and I don't blame you, because the fact that the schooling system has got us doing laps for no reason, understandable. Time management is something that could have been improved during my first year at uni. So I want to propose to you a way of not feeling so rushed and not feeling so overwhelmed like we don't have any time. As a student, as a film student, creative student, anything. You don't need to do everything. Perhaps you've been overwhelmed at uni because the way the curriculum has been structured, you are throwing everything all at once, but without any real substance. An example for me during my first year is that we were taught the fundamentals of film, directing, camera, lighting, sound, etc. And imagine, for each department, these key departments that could respectively have their own courses, they're all thrown at us. And we only had 3 weeks of each department. So if you've never edited before, you had 3 weeks of Premiere Pro, and then that was it. Of course, that isn't enough, and you do need to be learning outside of your course as well. But when we're thrown everything, it's so easy for students to be overwhelmed. First, I want to say that if you're feeling overwhelmed, then again, I do not blame you. But we signed up for uni, we know what we're getting into, so let's just move the excuses away now. Instead of complaining, let's actually be active with it, because complaining is only going to hurt ourselves. Am I right? So in the summer, I made a choice to really hone in on my YouTube channel, and that's all good and stuff because it's the summer and I have all this free time. But what happens when I've got an essay due and I've got my part-time job and I got all this and this and this and that? First off, let's realize why it's important to have side projects. Bro, you can't just have everything on the uni. You got to have things outside of your course as well. Not necessarily they have to relate. So I'm doing film and YouTube and stuff, and obviously that helps with my course. But I'm thinking of it separately. Obviously it's going to complement each other. When I'm having a break from my uni stuff, I'm on my YouTube stuff. And when I want a break from my YouTube stuff, then I'll be back on my uni stuff. So now that we've justified why you being overwhelmed is understandable, you want to do stuff outside of your uni course, which again, understandable. But where are you going to find the time to edit 15 hours, 20 hours a week, along with your part-time job, along with your deadlines? Of course, your passion projects and hobbies may not necessarily be YouTube. Hopefully, you can apply your own things with your uni course and the stuff you want to do outside of your course, with me and YouTube being an example. In the summer, I started hiring editors. I had a lot of hesitation with making that choice because I have an ego thing, like, oh, I'm an editor, I'm at film school, why do I need to hire someone to edit for me? I had that thinking, and also I don't want to pay money for that because as a student, the finance is already a bit mad. When you realize that the finance and the ego, there's something much more greater than that, and it's time. The feeling of not being rushed, the feeling of not being good enough because you don't feel like you're accomplishing enough, that is more valuable than a quick buck. So I suggest outsourcing the more time-consuming task of your to-do list. I've hired editors so I wouldn't necessarily be overwhelmed and I can spread out the workload. As well as that, because I'm not in my work, rather I'm working on my work, I've got the mental space and the time to elevate my passion, my YouTube. I've got the time because I'm not constantly in it, like mentally and physically as well, like because by me hiring editors and giving them the workload and the dozens of hours, I'm able to take a step back and work on the structures, the marketing, the plan and the vision moving forward. But I can't do much of that if I'm working 15 hours a week on it. As well as the elevation and vision, I'm also freeing up my own time to do the shit I actually want to do. And this outsourcing and delegation is just, maybe you like editing, so you don't want to outsource that, but maybe you can outsource the thumbnails, the script writing, perhaps the marketing. And with that, you can also outsource the stuff from uni. Within my projects, you get the more practical assignments, you've got the theory-based assignments with your essays and stuff. So how I'm going to approach this year is by freeing my time on the things that are boring to me. Going from last year, I procrastinated a lot on starting an essay, and a lot of that was from overthinking the research part. Oh, what research material am I going to use? How am I going to cite it? Where do I even begin with the reading list? What if I read something that's not relevant to me? Etc, etc, etc. So if you go on Fiverr right now, you're able to hire someone to do the research for you. All cited, all Harvard reference, everything. And you can get some decent ones for £10. Now, you're thinking, oh, £10, fuck, that's a lot of money. I could just research it half-assed myself. If you go on Fiverr right now, people are willing to do the most time-consuming task for so cheap. And deepest, yeah, you're at uni right now. The people providing these services have got like an MBA. I don't even know how to spell MBA, my guy. These lot are university graduates from sometimes prestigious schools. So if you outsource your research, for example, not only are you going to get a better piece of research, but you're going to save so much time as well because the people who know what they're doing are going to do it for you. Maybe you've been on this self-improvement entrepreneur rabbit hole for a while and you've heard that if you value your time much more, then why wouldn't you outsource mowing the lawn or doing your laundry, for example? And it's not necessarily which task should I outsource, because it's going to be different for everyone. But just look for those time-consuming tasks, those boring tasks that you don't want to do, and just delegate it. Because if you were in the industry, if I was a producer in the industry, if I needed a research, my time is much more valuable to be doing the raw research, whereas I can just delegate to someone as I would in the industry. You can hire someone to post all your resume and job applications onto all the sites. Whatever it is, it's just going back to the main point of you don't need to do everything yourself, and it's actually much more beneficial for you if you delegate it so you can work on the important tasks, the things that really elevate you forward. Until next time, love.